Hi, and welcome to Channel Shift. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michelle Rahal. We're going to hit some of the hot topics in F1 right now, and the hottest one's got to be the Bernie Ecclestone comments that he made. I mean, what a mistake that was. That really was a huge mistake on his part.
Hot potato. That is the term for Bernie Ecclestone. Bernie Ecclestone historically has done nothing but what benefits Bernie Ecclestone. And whatever he puts out there is usually there's some reason behind it. But every now and again, you know, he pulls a Joe Biden and he gets that gaffe in there. And he certainly did it this time. And what we're referring to, ladies and gentlemen, is the comments that he made about Hitler and Hitler being able to get things done, almost in admiration. Well, that certainly set off all the Jewish community, as it should. And it didn't do any favors for the German community either, as his meeting in Nürburgring has been canceled. Moving forward, Rob, what I see is a guy who's gotten a little bit too old, a guy who thinks that he can say what he wants, and he's gone too far. And I said this about Max Mosley, we both did. It's at some point in time, you got to call it a day. You got to be able to have somebody in there that can run the show, but be able to run the show with some aplomb and with some character and with some grace. And that's not what I'm seeing out of Bernie Ecclestone right now.
Not at all. And I got to wonder what's going to happen here in the future with this guy. You know, everything in Germany has been canceled, all these meetings. What happens moving forward now? Do we see him stay behind the limelight a little bit and, you know, maybe stay out of the way, let this all the dust settle on this one?
The only way that's going to happen is if the Formula One teams themselves put so much pressure on Ecclestone and Mosley as well that they muzzle them, that they slowly but surely muzzle them. And yeah, that's what the FOTA, the Formula One Team Association, tried to basically do. I didn't believe for a second they were going to break away. I think that what they were trying to do is to get Mosley deposed, which they seem to have succeeded in doing, and that they wanted to muzzle Ecclestone to some degree. And apparently he just, he can't keep his mouth shut.
Sounds like somebody I know.
You.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Well, let's talk about Braun GP's dominance that they have right now. This is a team that has been brilliant. Ross Braun, one of the most intelligent guys out there, he brought this team to the forefront, and now the dominance is there. But we see a little brilliance coming from Sebastian Vettel. My thing here is let's talk about this team and the dominance that they're bringing to the table. It's almost overshadowing how much the racing is, because we've seen some great racing going on, and unfortunately the championship battle nowhere near where we need it to be.
Well, Ross Braun did one of the most brilliant things that I think I've ever seen happen. He literally got Honda to pay him to take the team off of his hands. He planned this 2 years ago. He took over the Honda team. He started to work under the new rules long before the big manufacturers did, under the new rules that we're running this year. He had that car ready to go, and I predicted, but I could have been wrong. I don't know how much money of my own money I would have bet on this, but the Mercedes engine. And he got it to work, but now the other teams are starting to catch up, and you can see that with Adrian Newey's design of that Red Bull car. And now what do we hear? We hear Red Bull is talking to, guess who? Mercedes-Benz about the engines, as opposed to the Renault or the Ferrari engines that they may or may not have had a choice in. But they're catching up. The other teams are going to catch up.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to catch up. And now I want to talk about one of the new teams. We have 3 of them coming in the 2010 season, one of them being the USF1 team. And a lot of people talking about the budgets that they have in place, what's going to happen for next year in 2010. But this is a situation where I'm not sure these guys are really worried about money, because there's rumors there that the USF1 team has deep pockets with the guys from YouTube. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, that would be Chad. Chad Hurley, I believe is his name. And that's a funny thing, because I think what they did is they threw a red herring out there. They fought so hard to say, look, we want the new rules, these new rules that put a budget cap on this of some $67 million. Got to have it, got to have it, got to have it. But guess what? They were admitted into their entry was accepted where other people like Lola were not accepted. Why? There was something going on behind the scenes. Nobody believed that at $67 million that the U.S. Formula One team was going to make it. I think this has been brewing behind the scenes for a long time, and they very cleverly had a big backer, just like Branson had put his name on the Braun GP car. He's now gone to Manor GP, which was also accepted into the entry list. And I think what's taken place is they've found the guys that can afford to run within these rules without that limiting budget cap and without having to run under a bunch of, in a two-tier system. They got one set of rules, they got deep pockets to play with, and guess what? We may very well have a USGP team.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of the rumors out there that are floating around. A USGP race could be coming back on the schedule very soon, and I think that is key for F1 to be successful, especially in North America.
There isn't any doubt in my mind. Every single manufacturer that participates in Formula One wants a United States Grand Prix, if not two. Why? Because they sell it's such a huge market for them. North America is gigantic for them. Half the manufacturers build cars here. And it just makes absolutely no sense not to be here. But the only way that's going to take place is if, one, we have some national presence, a USGP team would do that, and two, if the manufacturers put enough pressure on the Formula One Constructors Association, or FIA, to do just that, to have a Formula One race in the United States.
Well, I can't wait. That one would be exciting, no doubt about that. Well, Michelle, I want one more thing with the budgets and F1 and coming to America, or for that matter, North America here. A lot of people talk about technologies, and with that USF1 team, technologies right here help because they're done right here in our backyard in the U.S.
That's what most people don't realize. Most people don't realize the technology, and Jackie Stewart sat in front of you and I and said it best. He said, you know what, we get all of our technology from you. From Silicon Valley. All of those cars, those Formula One cars, operate on computers and computer software. They get it all here. They get the technology from here. His point was, well, you need to come to Europe and race if you want to be in Formula One. The point being is that, yes, the technology is right here. There is a wind tunnel sitting in Concord, North Carolina. It's all there. All the components are there except for the money, and it appears as if that one's been taken care of.
No doubt about that. All right, for Michelle Ray Hall, I'm Rob D'Amico. Thank you for watching.